Hey, what's going on? So welcome to the first video of my new YouTube channel. Now, it's not a new channel. I've had a YouTube channel for 10 years, 12 years, something more than that probably. Um, but you'll see that I haven't really posted a lot of videos in a long time on it. I'm not going to get rid of those old videos because I do think there's a lot of value there, but we're kind of moving in a little bit different direction. So this is new. This is our new direction. And if you're new, hey, I'm Isaac. I'll give you a quick little background on who I am and where this kind of new change that's kind of take place, where that's coming from, and then talk a little bit about 5 key fundamental principles that you can apply to your life that will create positive change all the way across the board. So for starters, again, I'm Isaac. For the past 20 years, a little bit more actually, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of gray in the beard. Past 20 years, I've been a personal trainer, and last 10 years, I've owned a gym. Okay, so the last year, I got out of the gym business, and almost a year ago today, actually, and have been kind of working with people on the individual basis on both the fitness element, but also on the kind of leadership and entrepreneurial element as well. And there's been a lot of insights I've garnered from that. I realized, and the reason why I left the gym is I loved my clients, right? I loved working with them. I loved watching them change their lives. I loved helping them in that process. I loved being part of their life, all of that type of stuff. But I had reached the point where the training facility, the act of running it at various times had burnt me out, right, for years at a time. And that burnout had kind of had like a hangover effect. I'd actually kind of gotten better about it, but it exhausted me. And I had realized that a lot of the stuff that we were doing in that facility was effective for what it was. Like the workouts were good, the nutrition stuff was good, like all that stuff was good. But it wasn't really hitting the core aspects of what people needed. Okay, it was a downstream effect. So we were battling symptoms and we weren't battling the cause. Okay, and so what was happening was I was getting burnt out, and I realized that for me, burnout was a signal. Just like anything else, every symptom isn't really the problem. People think it's the problem, but it's not. It's actually just a signal of pain. There's something else going on. Okay, and so just like everybody else was that I was working with, they would get good results and then they would fall off, or they would get good results and then a couple years later they'd come back and they'd have gained 30 pounds back, or stuff like that. So I realized that this was more than simply prescribing workout plans, prescribing nutrition, stuff like that. So I wanted to make a bigger impact. I wanted to go upstream, work on the habits, work on the leadership, work on the things like that that really were going to move the needle downstream and make it easier to get the results that people really wanted. And so I was confronted with signing a 5-year lease, another 5 years in the gym, and I knew that what I wanted myself out of life, I knew that was not going to be in line with that. And it was going to limit the impact that I was going to be able to make, because I wasn't one of these gym owners that could not work with people. Some people, they'll own a facility, they'll get it big, they'll get a staff, and then they don't actually work with people anymore. They run the business and then they go do other things. And that's totally cool, but it wasn't going to be me. I knew that if I had myself in the gym, I was going to be working with people all the time, which is good from that perspective, but it makes it so that it was going to limit my overall effectiveness. So I knew that I had to move on to do the things I want to do in life. So that's why I moved on. But so that's what's given birth over this past year to the new direction I've gone in, which is the Spiral of Leaders program. And that's what I kind of want to talk about a little bit today, kind of get this video out there, get it on board, and get people to understand kind of 5 core fundamental beliefs that will allow you to make changes in your life no matter what it is you're trying to do, whether it's on the entrepreneur end or whether it's on the fitness end. We've been really working hard with both elements of the same people, but working hard with both elements, and gotten a lot of great results because people are becoming better people and better leaders. And fundamentally, I believe that if you're happier, you're healthier, you're stronger, then you will fundamentally be a better leader. And that will in turn create a bigger ripple effect because the world needs good leaders. And there's not a lot of them out there. And so the more people that can become better leaders and better, stronger versions of themselves, the better the world's going to be. So that's kind of the core thrust. And that's the little backstory about why I left the gym business, and why we're doing some of the things that we're doing. We'll dig into that in future videos down the road. So I wanted to get into those 5 core principles and kind of get into that and get that out there. Okay. So the first one is to get really clear on what it is that you're trying to accomplish, whatever that may be. Get it clear on where you are now, what you're trying to accomplish, and why you're trying to do it. I would see people in the gym, they'd come in, they'd talk to me, and they were having some kind of a problem. Because if you join a training facility, you hire a trainer, it's because something's not working out, right? So I would say, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? And they might want to lose 20 pounds, or they might want to get stronger, or they might want to win a state championship, or something like that, right? And that was kind of it. They rarely had like a real understanding of what they wanted, because ultimately your body doesn't, and your brain doesn't know the difference of whether you're 20 pounds down, 19 pounds down, 21 pounds. Like that number, unless you're a weight class athlete, really doesn't matter. So what it really, once we started digging a little bit, people wanted to get that feeling of wearing new jeans, or they wanted to feel good taking their shirt off at the beach, or they wanted to, whatever the thing was. We got really clear on what they wanted to accomplish, and that is something that so many people miss. So they get the wrong plan, or they do the wrong thing because they don't have a good handle on what it is they actually want to do, or where they're actually at now. From an entrepreneur's perspective, people say, I want to make $1 million. Great, that's fine. But why? And they don't have a good answer of why. What they really want is they want a lifestyle that they think $1 million will bring them. And maybe yes, maybe no. They may find out, if we figure out that lifestyle, that it might only take 500,000. Or maybe it's going to take 10 million, whatever it is they want to do. But until they get clear on what it is they want to do truly, it's always going to be a struggle. So first principle, get clear. Next principle is create the best you possible. Okay. So, because that's what gives you the ability to go do other things. The more capable you are, which you have control over, the better you'll be able to adapt and do other stuff. So imagine if a team showed up for a football game, right? First day of the season. Showed up for the game, hadn't met each other. Got off the bus, got their gear, put it on, lined up against another team. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to get crushed, right? That's what most people do when they start a plan. They start, a marketing campaign. They start trying to lose weight. They buy a plan off the internet, 12 weeks to whatever. There may be nothing wrong with any of those plans. But what they haven't factored in is those plans are assuming a certain start point. And they may not be there. So as a result, the plan doesn't work for them. And then they blame the plan. Well, teams have a preseason, right? So where teams will, get in shape, they will learn the plays, they will gel as a team. You need to do that yourself. You need to constantly be building the best version of yourself, because then you can make use of the plan that you may have. You can make use and adapt to the situations that you may have. But if you're not developing yourself, you're going to always struggle. So with all of our programs, we have kind of a preseason that gets everybody up to that same place where they can make the progress they need to make because we know that they have, the background. The next thing is that everybody is a leader. It's absolutely vital to realize that you, somewhere in your life, you are a leader. Whether it's an actual leader, like you're a supervisor, you're a team leader, you're a CEO, or whether it's just you're a leader in your family, whether it's you're a leader in, captain of your rec sports league, or whether you're just a leader of yourself. Ultimately, you need to realize that you are a leader, and a strong leader is somebody that can set a clear path, somebody that can adapt as necessary, and somebody that can see it through to the end. Because as one of my mentors, Pat Rigsby from the fitness space, likes to say, you get paid for done, right? So many times we start a journey, we start a path, we start a, plan, whether it's fitness, again, whether it's business, whatever it may be, and we don't see it through to the end. We get sidetracked, right? Well, as a result, you don't get paid. You don't get the payoff at the end. You don't lose the weight. You don't, hit the PR. You don't, the marketing plan fizzles because halfway through you got sidetracked onto doing TikTok videos when you were supposed to be sticking with some sort of an email campaign now, whatever maybe your thing is. But so it's important to have that leadership to see projects all the way through. And by projects, I mean your life. So get that squared away. Fourth principle is going to be to build or acquire assets. Okay. So in the financial world, an asset is simply something that produces revenue that you acquire, whether it's a stock, whether it's a piece of real estate, whether it's a whatever, some sort of something that has value, right? And ideally will produce more value over time. So in life, we do the same thing. We have assets, but people don't think of them. An asset in life might be a positive habit. It might be understand a skill. It may be a networking thing. Maybe it's a business network, or maybe it's just a personal network. Like maybe your kid, you can't go to pick up your kid from school after a game, but that you can call one of the other moms on the team and one of the other dads, and they'll give them a ride home. That's an asset, right? So too much of what we do, we don't look at in the long term. We look at as a short term, whether we feel good, whether we want to do this, whether it excites us, whether it's whatever, but it's not necessarily going to contribute to our long-term assets. Our long-term assets are going to be what over time will build and build and build. Just like in finance, you would take the revenue you got from those assets, you'd turn it around, you'd put it back into getting more assets. And so you build wealth over time. It's the same thing in life. You'd build your wealth over time by accumulating these assets. So we look to do it strategically that are going to move us in the direction you want to go in. And the fifth, and this is from one of my other mentors, Paul, and he used to drag me kicking and screaming through this, is the what got you here won't necessarily get you there, right? So the understanding that in our life, wherever we are right now, whatever you look like, whatever your performance is, whatever your business is, whatever your family is, whatever it is accumulation of your past actions. The life you have right now is based on what you currently do and what you've done in the past. Yes, there's some chance in there, but your reactions to that contributed. So the thing with that is that we want to keep doing the same things. Our brain is used to doing whatever it's doing now, and we want to keep doing those things. But we want a different life, right? You want something more. There's some part of your life that you want to change. Well, you need to make peace with the idea that in order to change, you're going to need to change. I remember times where I had, at the gym, I had to make radical changes to how we did things to continue to grow as a business. When it was just me training one-on-one clients and there were 20 of them, I did things one way. And then when I changed my model and I moved to 40 clients, I did things a different way. But in order to get to 100 clients, in order to get to several staff, we had to do things differently, right? And I spent a lot of time personally early on hemming and hawing about those decisions, and a lot of delay, and then eventually I would do it and it would work, and so over time I got less and less and less. I got faster with that hemming and hawing, and that's where it really sunk in, that realizing that what got me here, as good as it may be, wasn't going to get me there, and that change was huge. So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to get into in this channel moving forward. I invite you to stick around. I'm going to do a quick recap. So the first principle was get really clear on where you want to go, get really clear on why you want to do it, get really clear on where you are now. When you understand those things, you can move much faster, and you can move and you can weather the storms and make the adjustments you're probably going to have to make. Next is create the best you possible. Become the best person you can be, as far as skills go, as far as, your personal ethics, as far as your fitness, as far as all of those things. Become the best that you can be, because that's what's going to allow you to take advantage of opportunities and make changes as you need to down the road. You'll get the most out of the things that you do because you're better and you're more able to execute. Third is that everybody is a leader. Understand that. Whether you're a big time CEO or whether you're just all on your own, you're a leader of yourself, and you need to be able to set a clear path. You need to be able to stay motivated, or intrinsically, extrinsically stay, with your purpose. And you need to be able to make adaptations. A good leader can do all of those things, whether it's for themselves or other people, and you need to be able to do that. Fourth is going to be build or acquire assets throughout your life, and focus on strategically doing that as much as possible. People just sort of let it happen in their life, and maybe they luck out, maybe they don't. You need to be able to focus on going harder and building that up in your own life with some intention, because then they'll accumulate and you can grow. And the fifth is understanding that what got you here won't get you there. So understanding you need to be able to make changes if you're going to make change, and being able to make adjustments and being able to seek that next level. All right, that's going to be it for today. Give it a like for me. I appreciate it. Subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. I'm going to be doing more videos every week. They'll be shorter than this one most likely, and we're going to be digging into some more nuts and bolts.